All right, good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. I am Judge Melanie Williams, and today we will address misdemeanor offenses for those individuals who've been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney today. And as you can see, I'm conducting this hearing over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. When I ask if you understand your rights, that is what I am referring to. Those who receive a signature bond will be reset for the notice. Those who receive a surety or cash are going to the state all purpose. Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
June the 20th.
Thank you. Those will be reset to the state all purpose calendar on June 20th. Have all defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients?
Good afternoon, yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wills is muted and she's telling me something.
The opportunity to speak with Karen Daniels. It's my understanding she's at ACDC, but
And I also put in the chat, she's a medical reset.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I was afraid that was going to happen, but that's okay. All right, who do we have at courtroom 2?
Position number 2, Ms. Bell.
All right, good afternoon, Ms. Bell. Your case is 24 CR 00355. You're charged with stalking, disorderly conduct, and reckless conduct. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can I have the history, please, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, 2023 FTA, on probation, ag assault, terrorist threats, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission of cruelty, and the second battery, criminal trespass. That's 22 SC 184-736. That's it.
All right, Ms. Allen, please proceed if this is your case.
My case, Your Honor. The charges on this specific case are stalking, disorderly, and we added a reckless conduct. She has a $1,500 surety bond already. I'd asked for $5,000 surety added for the reckless conduct. Her probationary case is has a possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. It's for pointing a gun at some women that she was arguing with, and those are identical facts. In this case, it's alleged she had a gun when she was driving down the road, chasing a young woman and posting her video of herself chasing a young woman in her vehicle on Instagram Live. It's actually the victim in this case, Akeria Weems, Akeriaweems, is her cousin. And there was a second person in a vehicle, Mrs. Kiera Patrick. There is also a current TPO that has been obtained since this incident in favor of Miss Akeria Weems. And so this is from May the 2nd, so a delayed arrest, and this occurred on Northside Drive, Southwest. It started on Lee Street and continued past that period, past that area. The investigation utilized camera footage to document the progression of this chase at 3 p.m. in the afternoon on city streets here in Atlanta, which is reckless. So we would ask for a bond, or would you like me to wait?
No, go ahead.
So we would ask for no contact with the victim, Akeria Weems, and no contact with the alleged co-defendant, Kiera Patrick, a day of anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And I said I wanted a $5,000 surety for the reckless. I think that's it.
Oh.
Did I miss anything?
No, you got it all, Ms. Allen. Is Ms. Weems on the line and wishes to make a statement?
I'm not sure we were able to eventually get in touch with her, but that was part of what we were trying to do this morning. We have not yet. I did speak to the detective on the case, however.
All right. Ms. Wills, then please proceed.
Thank you. Ms. Bell is 26 years old. She is a native of the Metro Atlanta area. She does work for private health care. She's been there for about a year. She does qualify for our services. She has 3-year-old autistic twins at home. So I would be requesting a signature bond so that she can get home and tend to her children. She does deny the allegations as alleged. We have, of course, no objection to no contact. My client does not desire to have contact with either of the complaining witnesses in this case. She actually states that she's been harassed by the alleged victims in this case, and has evidence and documentation of that she hopes to present to the court at the appropriate time. But again, I would ask for a signature bond. Again, my client has very limited income at this time.
All right, defendant is gonna receive a $2,500 surety bond, 1,000 on the stalking, 1,000 on the reckless, 500 on the disorderly. She's to have no contact with the alleged victim or cross defendant, and she's to have no drugs, no alcohol or weapons, including that subject weapon. And as a reminder, she'll be reset to state off purpose on the 20th. All right, best of luck. Who do we have next?
Number 3, Miss Bella.
Is the cross defendant on this calendar?
I don't know who the cross defendant is.
Last name was Patrick.
No, she's not.
Okay. I was gonna have to do that one. All right. Ms. Bello, your case is 24 CR 0035552H. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
10 total, 2023 ag assault. That's open 23 SC 189645. Got an open battery DV 2 counts in state court. It's 23 CR 006478H. That's all.
All right. Ms. Allen, please proceed.
So, Your Honor, the 2 cases that pretrial just mentioned involved the same victim, and they occurred in June of last year and July of last year. There are currently 2 bond orders requiring absolutely no contact with this gentleman. The case in front of you is from January the 31st of this year. It's a delayed arrest. It was very close after Miss Bello gave birth to a child that she shares with the victim in all 3 cases at this point. And she has been out. I think they attempted to arrest her initially, and she had some health issues, and so it was just an active warrant for a period of time. This involves a physical fight. Similarities to all 3 of these cases involve using an object to assault and attack her fiance, Mr. Michael Thomas. In this situation, she used her keys to repeatedly attack and strike him, causing lacerations to his face and body while he was holding their infant child. It's also alleged that she threw a can of soda at him during this altercation, and that can of soda actually struck their newborn in the head, causing bruising. So arguably, this could end up being a felony. The victim fled the location, which is the home, I believe, that they shared, and called police from the Texaco and explained what had happened. We would ask for no contact with Michael Thomas, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, contact with the child through a third party, and a day of anger awareness based on the fact that this defendant is in violation of 2 different bonds on a superior court case and a misdemeanor case. And this is repeated violence of a similar manner against the same victim, and now a child is involved. We'd ask for a $10,000 surety bond, Your Honor.
All right, I'm sounding for Mr. Thomas at this time.
I don't believe we've been able to get in touch with him this morning.
Hearing and seeing none, Ms. Wills?
Thank you. Miss Bello, excuse me, is 41 years old. She is a native of Georgia. She's currently unemployed and working on obtaining disability for herself. She does have 3 children, including a 4-month-old that she does breastfeed. Again, this incident happened approximately 5 months ago, almost 5 months ago, going on 5 months, excuse me. There haven't been.
Hey, did the jail disappear?
Yeah, I don't see him.
Oh, thank you for catching that, Mr. Howard. Can someone call the jail? Well, happy Saturday.
They're back.
They are?
I just let them in. Or somebody, but now I don't see them anymore now.
Wow.
Okay, now they're trying to come back again.
There they are.
Okay.
All right, at courtroom 2, when did you lose us? Did you hear Ms. Wills begin?
In the middle of the argument.
Okay, well, go ahead. I heard Ms. Wills. You can.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. As I was stating, my client does have 2 children, including a 4-month-old that she does breastfeed, that she shares with Mr. Thomas. She also has a host of medical conditions that she needs to tend to, chronic conditions that require treatment. As a result of this arrest, she actually did suffer from a seizure, which is why she was released from custody. My client states that she called the police, that this incident happened a couple of weeks after she gave birth, and she was very weak, and it was actually the alleged victim who initiated contact and attacked her. So we would request a signature bond. Again, my client is unemployed and has very limited income, as well as 3 children at home.
All right. And confirming there's just the 1 battery family violence charge at this time, Ms. Allen? There's nothing additional, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is gonna receive a $3,500 surety bond. She's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case. And have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. The incident location was her home, correct?
She does not live at that address, Your Honor. I did confirm that today.
So we'd
Okay.
ask for a stay away.
Victim's home. All right. All right, best of luck to you. That concludes your case. If you have a question, the best person to speak to is Ms. Wills, all right? I don't want you to say something that infringes upon your right to remain silent. Thank you.
Next is position 4, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Are you Raven Browner?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case is 24 CR 0035553Y. You're charged with 2 counts of criminal trespass. You understand your rights?
Two counts or one? Because on my paper, it only showed the one.
I believe it's 2, but let's let your attorney make those arguments. But do you understand your rights? You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and I'm conducting this over the internet. Do you understand those things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Howard, can I have history?
5th arrest. Got an open violation of family violence order in Gwinnett. I see a battery DV cruelty in the 3rd. 2019 shoplifting conviction.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred May the 6th of 2024, so a delayed arrest with an active warrant out for her arrest. The victim in this case is named Antrion Martin, and that's spelled Antroin. The incident location is 2301 Godby Road. Police were called out to a dispute about neighbors arguing. And on scene, they met with the defendant, who reported that her downstairs neighbor and herself had been in a verbal argument earlier, but that nothing had happened. Police went back to the cruiser they arrived in and were told by dispatch that the victim in the case, who called 911, was reporting there was property damage. Police then made contact with Mr. Martin, and they approached with Mr. Martin his apartment there at the location. While doing so, the defendant was seen by police exiting his apartment. She tried to grab Mr. Martin, and police had to separate them and call for backup. She was detained. Officer Armstrong walked into the residence with the victim, and observed multiple items of furniture overturned, food taken out of the fridge and thrown all over the floor, all the toiletries taken out of the cabinets in the bathroom and thrown all over the floor. When asked about it, the defendant said the apartment was in that state when she arrived and that the door had been unlocked. It's not her apartment. Her address is listed as 1188 Winding Way in Grayson, Georgia. So we're still unclear about the facts that created this situation, I guess. The victim reported to police that he'd been at a outside location when on his phone through surveillance technology, he observed the defendant on Instagram Live inside his residence, destroying his property. He was able to show police images of her in his bathroom, throwing things all over the ground and the floor in there. And a warrant was obtained, and she's here in front of us today. So we would ask, based on the information that you just heard, there is a violation of a family violence protective order out of Gwinnett, but that is with a different victim. And there is a open family violence battery and cruelty to children in a 3rd degree out of Snellville that is open as well. We would ask for no contact, stay away from the incident location on Godby Road, 1-day anger management, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And we would ask so the criminal trespass 1 is for entering a residence that you have not been given permission to go into. And the second one is for interference with the property by basically tossing the contents of this gentleman's home. So we would ask for a $3,000 surety bond on this case, Your Honor, $1,500 and $1,500. Thank you.
All right, and I'm sorry, his name was?
It's Antrion, Antroin. Martin. Martin is the last name, common spelling.
All right, Mr. Martin, if you're present and wish to make a statement, this is your opportunity. All right, hearing none, Ms. Wills.
Thank you. Ms. Browner is 24 years old. She is a native of the Metro Atlanta area. She's currently unemployed, so she will qualify for our services. She has a high school diploma as well as some technical college. She has 2 children that she takes care of, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. Ms. Browner states that she does not desire to have any contact with the alleged victim in this case. Again, this incident happened about a month ago. There haven't been any other issues. She does not reside at the property. And she states that law enforcement let her go when they responded on the scene at the time of the incident. So she was not aware that there was a warrant for her arrest. I would request a signature bond, Your Honor, in this case.
All right. Based on the information before me, defendant's going to receive a $5,000 signature bond through the jail, $2,500 on each count. She's to stay away from that incident location and have absolutely no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim, have no alcohol, no drugs, or weapons, and she'll be reset further notice. Is there anything additional?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, best of luck to you. What do we have next?
Position number 7.
All right. All right. Your case is 24 CR 003556E. You're charged with fair evasion and criminal trespass. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
57 total. 2023 simple assault. On probation for battery out of state court. 2021 probation, 2019 FTA. 2017 theft of lost mislaid property conviction. 2015 burglary conviction. And 2015 shop theft conviction.
All right. Ms. Allen, please proceed.
Can I get clarification about what position we're on?
Position 7. Ms. Hodes.
Thank you. I'd hate to talk about the wrong case.
Oh, much appreciated.
So this incident is from this week, June the 7th of 2024. The location is 30 Alabama Street. This is a MARTA case. The initial counts are fair evasion and criminal trespass. Officer Usery, USSERY with MARTA Police, observed the defendant go through the fare gate without paying the required entrance fee. She was detained, and when reviewing her criminal history, it was revealed that she'd been issued a no return or a criminal trespass order on March the 14th, 2024, and had active suspension from the location. We would ask that $1,500 surety bond, or actually let's say $2,000 surety bond, so one on each charge. Stay away from MARTA locations. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Wills, based on the information before me, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond and require that stay away in compliance with any suspensions that may be in place. Do you have any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defendant's gonna receive a $6,000 signature bond through the jail, $3,000 on each count. She is stay away from that location, comply with any active minor suspensions, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. Best of luck to you, Ms. Hope. Who do we have next?
Next is number 1.
All right. All right, good afternoon. Are you Jamon Beck?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Your case is 24 CR 003550F. You're charged with trespass, obstruction, and we need to wait on this one. We need to go do this one at the end. Can we take another position, please?
Yes, we can go to position number 8, Holmes. We're gonna do you last.
All right, Mr. Holmes. Your case is 24 CR 003557D. You're charged with criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. You understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
14. Got an open drug case in Superior Court, 23 SC 191457. 2017 DUI conviction.
All right, Ms. Allen.
Thank you. Your Honor, this incident occurred on the 7th of June, 2024 at 2640 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. This is a disorderly conduct and 2 counts of criminal trespass. Let's see. Police were dispatched to a fight in progress, and on the scene, the defendant was observed by police standing next to broken glass. That specifically is a bedroom window and the sliding glass door off the back of the residence. Mrs. Jasmine Hunter lives at that location, and it's her window and back sliding glass door that had been damaged. He was reportedly standing when police arrived with glass all around him on the ground, yelling at the victim inside her home. When police were able to speak to Mrs. Hunter, she reported that she came home and the defendant started banging on the sliding glass door. She said that the glass was broken and damaged as a result of the banging. They have a 1-year-old child who was present. He accused her of cheating, and she refused to let him into the residence. And she reported that he smelled of alcohol. She was in fear for her safety and the safety of her child. His location and his address listed in our system is not this address. So we'd be asking for a stay away and a no contact exchange of the child through a third party if Ms. Hunter wishes that to occur. And we've got 3 charges here. We'd be asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, no further contact, stay away. And I think I said the visitation or transfer of the child. That's it, Your Honor.
I see 2 charges, Ms. Allen. Is it 3? I see disorderly and criminal trespass. Is there a third one?
I thought maybe there was a third one. No,
That's all I have.
you're correct. Just
Okay.
one. I apologize. So I would ask for $2,000.
All right. Is Ms. Hunter on the line? Wishes to make a statement? Okay, hearing none, Ms. Wills.
Thank you. Mr. Holmes is 49 years old. He is a native of the Metro Atlanta area. He is currently employed by Applied Industrial Technology. He's been there for approximately 1 year. Excuse me, but he does qualify for our services. He does have some trade school educationally. He has 2 children that live in the home with him, as well as he pays child support for 4 other children. He does not live with the complaining witness in this case, as it was stated. He states that he was locked out of the home and this was a misunderstanding. So he hopes to fight these charges at a later date. I would be requesting a signature bond in this case, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is gonna receive a split bond, $2,000 split, 1,000 surety on the criminal on the disorderly, and 1,000 signature through the jail on the criminal trespass. He's have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that location. Is there anything additional? Hearing none, best of luck to you, Mr. Holmes. What do we have next?
Judge, was disorderly conduct 1,000 to, good bond? Surety bond?
Disorderly was good, and the criminal trespass is a signature through the jail.
All right, thank you. Next is position number 9, Kendall.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kendall, your case is 24 CR 00355 You're charged with riding a bike on the right side of the roadway, not having required equipment, obstruction, and criminal trespass. You understand your rights?
Yes. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. All right, Miss Allen.
6 total. Last
I'm
arrest was
sorry,
in,
Mr. Howard. I read yours, Mr. Howard. Go ahead.
last arrest was in February. Probation. 2023 possession of a knife or a firearm during a commission. That was dismissed. 2023 FTA. 2021 carrying a weapon without a license, simple battery. That's it.
All right, Miss Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident was June the 7th of 2024. Location began on Lakewood Avenue Southeast and continued through the cartilage of residences 1669 Richmond, and then ended at Lakewood Avenue again. Basically, officers reported seeing the defendant riding his bicycle down the middle of the road at night rather than on the right side of the road. There was no light on his bicycle as required. Police tried to stop the defendant and he biked away and down a different road. Blue lights were activated and he was directed to stop and he did not. Officers responding to support intercepted him and he fled onto the property of 1669 Richmond, which is a residence, trying to elude the police and then over a fence. He ended up being apprehended at 1652 Lakewood and tased. He was seen by Grady and then transported after being medically cleared. So we've got 5 charges on this case. We would ask for $1,000 on each charge, Your Honor. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, to stay away from the location at 1669 Richmond. And that's it, I think. Thank you.
I
All
saw
right, Miss-
4 cases.
I see 4 charges.
Okay.
Let's make sure, the equipment, the bike on the middle of the road, obstruction and criminal trespass. Are we missing one, Miss Allen?
No, I think we're good. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Coleman, in light of the information before me, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail and require that stay away. Do you have any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is gonna receive a $4,000 SOB through the jail, 1,000 on each count. He is to stay away from that location and have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. He will be reset for the notice. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Kendall. That concludes your case.
Position 10, Mr. Merritt.
All right, Mr. Merritt, your case is 24 CR 003544C. You're charged with theft by taking. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Last arrest was 06 out of New York City for burglary, trespass, criminal possession of stolen property.
All right, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened over at the Georgia. Let me just make sure I have the right school. My apologies. So this happened over at GSU at 25 Park Place in Atlanta. Officers captured on surveillance video the defendant approaching the security desk of Anna Papenko and removing her bag from under her desk and immediately fleeing the building. They then showed him entering the loading dock at 10 Park Place at Grady Health Clinic, going through her bag, and then fleeing the area, leaving her bag behind. They did make contact with Miss Papenko and give her back her bag. And then that happened June 3rd, 2024. On June 7th, 2024, the defendant was observed loitering at the Grady Health Clinic wearing the same clothing from the bolo that had been put out before, and he was arrested. This defendant's history is 8 cycles in Florida, 23 cycles in New York. The most recent was that 2007 burglary in the second degree where he received 12 years to life. This is his first offense here in Georgia. So we are asking for a $1,000 surety bond on this. Stay away from Georgia State University property. We have spoken to Ms. Papenko. She will not be on Zoom, but she said she had seen the defendant around the school, but he was not a student. She did receive her bag back with her belongings in it, and she is concerned for the safety of the students, and she would like a no contact and a stay away from that location. At this time, out of an abundance of caution, we would like to sound for Ms. Anna Papenko. That's all for the state.
All right, is Ms. Papenko on the line and wishes to make a statement? Seeing, hearing none. Mr. Coleman, this is your client, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
All
I've
right,
been-
and information before me, I'm inclined to give him a signature bond and require him to stay away. You have any objection?
No objection.
All
Your
right,
Honor, we do ask if a signature bond is be given through pretrial services since this defendant has no ties to the community.
understood, but I'm gonna send it through the jail. Defendant is gonna receive a $6,000 signature bond through the jail. He's to absolutely stay away from all of Georgia, is it Georgia State? Georgia State in its entirety, including 25 Park Place, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and have no contact with the alleged victim in this case. Don't go back to that location, sir. They do not want you there, all right? This is a second chance. All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Number 11, Montfort.
All right, Mr. Mumford, your case 24 CR 003549B. You're charged with hit and run, expired license, and failure to obey a stop sign. Do you understand your rights?
Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
7 total. Last arrest was 05 on a CWAC charge. That's it.
Okay. Ms. Falk, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, and he was released from that CWAC charge in 2015 from Georgia Department of Corrections. This happened June 29th, 2022 at Connolly Street at Little Street in Atlanta. The defendant was driving his 2000 Honda Accord, traveling northbound, drove through the intersection without yielding to the cross traffic, struck the passenger side vehicle of the victim, Mr. Clark, exited the vehicle and advised the Mr. Clark he had an appointment to go to, got back into his vehicle and fled without rendering aid or exchanging information. The vehicle was registered to Reginald Montford, and at that point, they called Mr. Montford, who stated he had sold the vehicle to his cousin Alonzo Montford. They spoke with Alonzo Montford, who did confirm he owned the vehicle but denied being the driver. A photo lineup was then conducted on August 30th, 2022, and the Mr. Clark did identify Mr. Montford as the driver of that vehicle. We have spoken to Mr. Charles Clark. He did confirm the accident and state he paid $250 out of pocket for the car damages, but he's not seeking any restitution, and he did not sustain any injuries. We asked for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, no driving, no further contact with Charles Clark. That would be $1,000 on the hit and run, $500 on the expired license, and $500 on the stop sign. That's all for the state. And we would like to sound for Mr. Charles Clark in case he is here today.
All right, Mr. Clark, can you just make a very brief statement? Seen none. Mr. Coleman, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the requested by the state. You have any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is gonna receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, 1,000 on each count. He is not to drive. He is to have no contact with Mr. Clark. And he will be reset for the notice. Of course, no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition of that signature bond. Is there anything additional?
No, Your Honor.
No, thank you.
All right, Mr. Mofford, best of luck to you. Who do we have next?
Position 13, Mr. Muhammad.
All right, Mr. Muhammad, your case is 24 CR 003546A.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. If I could ask Mr. Mumford a very quick question.
Mumford, come here. We want to ask you.
Mr. Mumford, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to know, is your email, is that Alonzo.Monfort or just Alonzo Monfort?
MonfortAlonzo.com. Gmail.
Monfort Alonzo.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, back to Mr. Muhammad. Mr. Muhammad, you understand your rights today and the charges. You're charged with 2 counts of battery, family violence. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Post
Ms.
arrest.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. All right, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. This happened May 22nd, 2024 at 1985 Thomasville Drive, Southeast in Atlanta. Officers spoke with Miss Janae Muhammad, who stated she had been assaulted by her husband. They were having a phone conversation with her mother-in-law pertaining to them separating, and she said he had agreed to move out and then went out the front door for work. She followed, and he re-entered the home and struck her in the head with a closed fist as she sat on the couch. She said she was struck approximately 20 times and was bleeding from the bottom lip and sustained visible scratchings on her neck. She did at the time refuse medical treatment, and they are married and share a 3-year-old child. We have had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Muhammad, who stated she has been married to the defendant, and they do reside at the incident location and they do have a son together. Although she stated she is not afraid of the defendant, the state has some concerns, especially because this happened at a time when she was attempting to separate from him and the fact that they share a relatively young child. We would ask for a $4,000 surety bond, $3,000 on the family violence battery, $1,000 on the cruelty to child in the 3rd degree as their, hold on.
We got
Sorry.
2 family violence. I don't see a cruelty.
Yeah, no, I was looking at a different position, Your Honor. So $3,000 on the family violence battery surety, $3,000 on the family violence second offense as a signature bond. So for a total of a $6,000 split bond, we would ask to stay away from that address, which is let me pull that up again. 1985 Thomasville Drive, Southeast in Atlanta. We would ask for no further violent contact with Miss Muhammad and third-party pickup of the child. That's all for the state. And we would like to sound for Miss Muhammad at this time.
All right, I think I saw her earlier. Ms. Muhammad, if you're on the line and wish to make a statement, please turn on your camera, raise your right hand. All right, hearing none. Oh, there you are, Ms. Muhammad. Are you driving?
I'm driving.
You cannot make a statement while you are driving. Let's be over. You are in safe location.
Okay.
Do you wish to make a statement today?
I did.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to pull over. We cannot, that's not appropriate.
Okay. I have to wait till I get to my next exit, if that's possible.
Okay, very quickly. In the meantime, Mr. Coleman, this is. You're muted.
Your Honor, I'd be requesting a signature bond for Mr. Muhammad. I believe I heard that this was his first arrest. Mr. Muhammad is 33 years of age. He does have an address here in Atlanta, Fulton County. He states to me that he has his master's degree from Northeastern University. He has been working for Lyft as a driver for the last 8 years. He is the father of a 2.5-year-old child. Again, if this is his first arrest and the alleged victim in this case is wanting contact, I'd be requesting a signature bond.
Okay. Is Ms. Muhammad still operating a vehicle?
Well, I don't know who just spoke, but I did give them,
Are you still
what I
driving?
wanted to say, so I'm driving, yes. I'm trying, my exit is coming up.
Okay, we've sounded for her. She cannot give a statement at this time. I understand, but I believe that your wishes have been conveyed to the state. All right. At this time, defendant is going to receive a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial services at level 2. He is going to take a 2-day anger awareness class, have no further violent contact with the alleged victim, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Your Honor, there are 2 charges. You're
Break
breaking.
it in half, 3,000 each charge. I'm sorry, I got that from the state. Yes, ma'am.
You say 2,000, you mumble.
3,000 I'm sorry, 3,000 each charge.
Okay,
My apologies.
that's okay.
All right, additional?
Nothing for the state, Your Honor.
No,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
All right, best of luck to you. Who do we have next?
Number 14, Powell.
All right, Mr. Powell, good afternoon. Your case is 24 CR 003548F. You're charged with battery, family violence, and simple battery. Do you understand your rights? All right, Mr. Howard.
8th arrest. 2022 theft by receiving 2 counts. Got an open fleeing and officer suspended license, possession of marijuana. That's pretty much it. Just some open driving.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. On this case, this happened April 24th, 2024. Officers were dispatched to 1001 Westmore Place. They spoke to Denise Powell, who stated that her son, the defendant, had texted her about a dispute regarding music. She advised that about 30 minutes later, he came to her front door, which was locked, asked for some of his things at the home. She then walked into her room, and the defendant ran toward her, wrapped both hands around her neck, and began to choke her, pushing her onto the bed. She stated although she was still able to breathe, she did kick her son off with her left foot, and that's when he ran out of the bedroom, exiting the front door. Officers were able to see a visible scratch on her left cheek as well as bleeding. They did speak with her over the phone as well, the police, for a follow-up, and she revealed that she is concerned that the defendant has a serious drug problem and wants him to go to rehab because at the rate he's going to severely hurt someone or overdose. We did have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Powell. She stated that they do not reside together because she kicked him out of the home due to him being disrespectful to her and his addiction to pills. She also stated he's been acting differently due to that, and this has been going on for approximately 1 year. She stated the other children were the ones to help get the defendant off of her, and their ages are 10, 9, 6, and 1. And she also stated that the defendant has threatened to kill her. She asked for a stay away from the incident location, but was not sure about a no further contact because she's concerned he doesn't have anyone else, and she wants him to get help with his addiction issues. The state does have some serious concerns about the nature of this particular incident. We are asking for a $3,000 surety, $4,000 surety bond, $3,000 on the family violence battery, $1,000 on the simple battery, no further contact, stay away from the address, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And we're also asking for an ADET in this case, as well as no firearms. We would like to sound for Denise Powell at this time so that she could speak with the state, speak with the court. I understand that she wants possible contact, but at this time, the state has some real concerns about the nature of this offense, how quickly it escalated, and the fact that 4 children in the home had to assist in getting him off of his mother. That's all for the state.
All right, Ms. Powell, if you wish to make a statement, please raise your right hand and turn on your camera. All right, hearing none, Mr. Coleman.
Yeah, I'd be requesting a signature bond for Mr. Powell. He is 23 years of age, is a lifelong resident of Atlanta, Fulton County. He is a high school graduate. He is currently unemployed, therefore he would qualify for public defender services. However, that does mean that he does not have any money to post for bonds. Listening to his criminal history, appears that this is his 8th arrest, but I did not hear that he has any convictions for any violent crimes. Again, I'd be requesting a signature bond on Mr. Powell's behalf.
All right. At this time, defendant is going to receive a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services, $2,000 on each count. He's also going to take the 2-day anger awareness course. That's going to be at level 2. He is to have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and he's to have no contact with Ms. Powell and stay away from that location. Is there anything additional?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. What do we have next?
Number 15, Reynolds.
Your
All right.
Honor, on Deshaun Powell, could we also get an ADET on that one? Based on what the mother said, there is a problem here.
I considered it, and not at this time, Ms. Falk, but I'm sure that's something that could be done at a later date.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Reynolds, your case is 24CR003545E. You're charged with simple battery family violence. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
20 total, 2022 probation. On probation for ag assault out of Glenn County. That runs until 2036. 2016 battery DV, 2014 FTA. That's all.
All right, thank you, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. This happened yesterday at 12:28 a.m. at 921 Westmoreland Circle, Northwest in Atlanta. Officers responded to that address. They met with the victim's daughter, Miss Kayla Davis, who stated that her mom's boyfriend had assaulted her and that she has eyes on him. She stated that she saw a gray colored Nissan, which the defendant was sitting in. The officer tried to make contact and they gave chase on foot because the defendant started to drive away until the vehicle came to a stop, at which point the defendant was arrested. They spoke with the mother, Janane Davis, who stated she had just come home from Topgolf with her children when Mr. Reynolds arrived at the same time. She said that she and Mr. Reynolds argued earlier that day. He approached her very aggressively, and at that point, he shoved her, she shoved him back, and then he aggressively shoved her to the floor where she tried to get up, but her right leg was injured. Miss Davis's daughter, Katie, confirmed all of the statements by her mother. They also provided video footage that displays audio of the altercation. In addition, Miss Davis provided photos of past incidents with the defendant where she sustained black eyes and bruises around her neck. We have spoken with Miss Davis. We also see that she's stated she will be on Zoom. She's not sure if she wants to speak. They have been together for 3.5 years. She said they do have a domestic violence history. This is the first time she's called police. And that she and her daughter are afraid of retaliation from him when he gets out of custody. She stated her daughter is nervous because Miss Davis is now on crutches. The reason Miss Davis is now on crutches is because when she got up from the ground, she was unable to walk. She had to call an ambulance after the police left to take her to the hospital, and she had a fracture, a closed fracture to her patella. I did get a copy of those hospital records as well, which we do have. So there was some injury to her knee that we think would warrant at least examining a transfer to the felony division. We just received this information after the case had already been accused. She also stated she wants no contact, stay away, anger management, and a one-time police escort for him to get his belongings. As you did hear, the defendant has family violence battery arrests from 2011 and 2016. We did not see dispositions on those, but there is a 2016 aggravated assault conviction out of Glenn County where he got 20 years with 3 years to serve, as well as a DUI from 2021 conviction and a 2023 probation violation. So this defendant has a history of violence and has committed a serious act of violence against our victim, not just in this instance, but in previous instances, which she described to police and showed them pictures of. For that reason, the state is asking for a $10,000 surety bond. We're asking for a stay away from the address of Miss Denise Powell Janane Davis, located at 921 Westmoreland Circle Northwest, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no firearms, and no further contact with Janane Davis or her daughter, KD. That's all for the state. And we would like to sound for Miss Janane Davis in case she does want to speak.
All right, Ms. Davis, are you present and wish to make a statement? If you'd like to make a statement, please raise your right hand. You swear an affirm testimony you give today be the truth and the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. And I'm not sentencing the defendant today. Let me start with that. You will have other opportunities to speak and give your side of the story about what happened. If you disagree with what Ms. Falk has said today, that's not what I'm most concerned with. What I am most concerned with are any concerns you have for your safety and whether you wish to have contact with the defendant. But in light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me?
I really don't have too much to say. And this is a lot for me right now. I don't wish any bad on Mr. Reynolds. I just think that right now we need to stay away from each other because this is not where I want to be right now with anybody, including him.
If you don't want to make a statement, you are not required to, but
I don't. I really don't.
That's fine. I was just giving you the opportunity to do so if you wanted to speak. All right.
Yes.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Davis. All right, Mr. Coleman, please proceed.
I'd be requesting a signature bond for Mr. Reynolds. He is 32 years of age. He does have an address here in Atlanta, Fulton County. He states to me that he's presently attending DeVry University and is scheduled to graduate from there in December. He's also working at 4840 Solutions as a forklift driver. He's been there for the last 8 years. I would like to preserve his job if possible. He is a father of a 1-year-old child, age 14. Again, I'd be requesting a signature bond on his behalf, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $2,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim, stay away from that location. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons as a condition of that surety bond. And as a reminder, he will be reset to the state all purpose on the 20th. Is there anything additional?
I would like to know the victim's first name. I have her name as Miss Davis, but what's her first name?
It's Janane, which is, I can spell that for you, Jaynane. Jaynane.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I would ask the court just consider a higher surety bond, given the fact that he just got out of prison recently for aggravated assault.
Understood, Ms. Falk. It'll remain as that.
Number 6, Hembrit.
All right.
He did not hear his rights. He was not in the courtroom at the time, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hembrook, your case is 24 CR 00355J. In this case, you're charged with battery. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of this case can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. As you can see, I'm conducting this hearing by video. Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing today?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, Mr. Howard.
6 total. 2022 trespass NOLO, 2022 another trespass arrest, 2020 trespass, 2020 trespass conviction, 2019 FTA.
All right, Ms. Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant was arrested on June the 7th at 6:45 a.m. This is an assault on a stranger. The incident occurred at 6103 Old National, which is the BP gas station, excuse me. The victim's name is Raymond Durr. That's Raymon, last name Durr. He works as a clerk at the BP at that location and reported that he'd been outside smoking when the defendant, who is unknown to him, approached him aggressively, and they engaged in a verbal back and forth before the defendant struck him with a closed fist to the left side of his face. The victim sustained a laceration above his eyebrow. and reported that rather than engage, he went into the store to call the police. The defendant was taken into custody. We attempted to get in contact with him this morning. I don't believe we were successful, but we can sound for him, Mr. Durr. You did hear correctly. The criminal history for this defendant includes 2 criminal trespass convictions in 2020, as well as an affray charge was one of those associated with one of those cases. And so there's a concern for not only the safety of the public, because this was a assault on a stranger, but a risk of reoffending, Your Honor. We would ask, there's a single count of battery here. We would ask for a $3,000 surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Stay away from the location at 6103 Old National, which is the BP, and have absolutely no contact with Mr. Durr, D-U-R-R.
All right, I'm sounding for Mr. Durr at this time. Hearing none. Ms. Wills?
Thank you, Judge. In speaking with Mr. Hambrick, I wasn't able to obtain much information for him. I do have some concerns for his mental health at this time.
We didn't do a breakout? Okay.
Yes.
I was trying to stop you. Okay, can we please go into a breakout very quickly?
Sure.
I think to be Miss Allen, and Miss Wells, myself. I'm sure Miss Falk would like to come. Miss Holly. Mr. Coleman is welcome if he wants to attend as well.
Nope, I'm good.
Miss Falk doesn't want to come either.
I'm fine, Your Honor.
Supervisor Allen's got it. Thanks.
I'm fine, Your Honor.
Okay. That's usually the reverse. Usually everyone wants to come. Today, no one wants to come. That's me. All right, as it pertains to this case, the defendant is going to receive a $3,000 surety bond. He is to undergo a BHET, have no contact with Mr. Durr, and stay away from that location, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional? All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Back to position number 1, bid. Courtroom is clear.
Thank you. All right, sir, I listed your charges and you, do you understand your rights today?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm
All
sorry, Judge. I don't mean to cut you off. Did you want me to turn off the live stream or is it